Good morning, everyone. Kinda got my birthday wish, sorta. It's not a lot, but it's snow. I know, a lot of people don't like snow, and that's fine. You don't have to like snow, but I do, and we got some. So happy birthday to me, right? And it is my birthday. Isn't that fun? 27 years old. No, 47 years old. I'm not one to hide from that fact, because, you know, it's not the age, it's the mileage. For my birthday, though, Matt did get me these, and these are amazing. For a lot of different reasons, but mainly for the English translation. This is a solar energy. It is symbol, wealth, and healthy happiness. With $100 bills, and euros, and diversity, which is nice. Yeah, so that's kind of it. KOXXUD, lucky cat. I don't understand what that means, but there it is. Lucky cat, waving arm, white, yellow, black, 3 pieces. And this is what they look like in the box. And I'm gonna take him out of the box, but there are little solar panels right there. Let's get this out of here. This plastic is obviously biodegradable. It's not. It's really not. But look at this little fella. Look at this little one. Ah, look at that. Aren't they cute? And they wave. I've gone to a lot of restaurants and I've seen these lucky cats up on the bars and ordering areas of my favorite restaurants, and I'm like, gosh, I want one of those tall ones. I want one of those tall cats. They're so cool. And apparently he's like, I don't want a large cat. Why don't we just do 3 smaller cats? So now we have 3 smaller cats, and now I can throw this box away. He's been waiting for the past this past weekend for me to be like, okay, we can throw it away now. So now we can throw it away. But look, there's 3 of them. And my sushi guy. And this is just, I'll have one of them out at a time, probably starting tomorrow. But how cool is that? Get our water started. We're gonna do our honey processed coffee today. From Frothy Coffee. I'm gonna do it in my French press because it's my birthday and I will French press if I want to. Yeah, 47. Isn't that weird? Not really. It's not really weird. It smells so nice. I don't know. Let's just go hog wild here. I'm gonna go with around 40 grams. And then we're gonna fill that up to the top anyway. So that'll be good. I'll put you over here so you don't get in the kitty's way. Look at them wave, and they're solar powered, and there's no solar at all because there's cloud cover, so it's functioning from the lights. I mean, is this not perpetual energy? It's probably not. It's probably not. So I'm gonna do a coarse grind on this. And we're gonna let it sit in the French press. I'm gonna do about an 8-minute brew. We'll have a crust break, wait another 5 minutes probably, and then start scooping out some little bits and stuff from the top like I normally have done with this thing, and then we'll use it to strain into a glass of my choosing. That's how coffee works. Perfect. Let us. It's just such makes such a nice smelling coffee. Oh. 41 grams. That's a lot of grams. And this is out as well. I'm going to froth up some milk and add some milk froth to the top of the coffee so we can kind of draw this out. Draw out the coffee pot today. I've got a couple things I want to film. So We'll just draw out the coffee as long as we can. Aren't they adorable? Shout out to Colony Cats and to Cozy Cat Cottage, both feline-only cat shelters, no-kill cat shelters. Try your best to find a kitty that will love you at a shelter. I'm not going to be one of those. I mean, I don't like mills. I don't like puppy mills. I don't like kitty farms. I don't like how kitties are treated in those places. Dogs are treated. It's horrible. Definitely consider going and adopting a kitty if you want a kitty or a dog, you know, either one. Consider going to a shelter first. There's my Betty White for the day. It's really funny. They did these right because the little strip that absorbs the light is straight up and down, whereas this poor guy, he can't make sushi unless the light's kind of down here pointing at him, or at least at an angle like that. Sometimes he's going pretty good, but sometimes, like today, not getting enough light, which is weird because these things are cranked up as far as they can go. It is my birthday, 47 years. Whew. Goodness. What are you gonna do about it? Well, I guess keep going. It's about all you can do. My mother called me this morning, about 8 o'clock, as she does every birthday, to wish me happy birthday. But this morning, I was still asleep. So when I heard her ringtone come over, and her ringtone and like 3 other people's ringtones are the only ones that come over when the phone's on silent. If the phone's on silent, nobody else's ringtones comes through. She's one of them. So I'm like, I'm seeing that her. Why are you burping? It's burping for some reason. Look at that. Look at it burp. Why are you burping? You're not that full. Crazy thing. So she's calling, and I'm all out of sorts because she's waking me up, and I'm like, oh God, what has happened? Because the only time someone calls me is to tell me that something has happened. I have my grandfather is 89, 90 years old. My dad's 75 around about years old. You know, you know, I have friends, you know, that are perfectly healthy but could go any minute. That's just how it works. You know, so you don't know, and you're frightened, and you're like, God, do I want to answer the phone? So you pick up the phone, and she sings happy birthday, and it's just, oh, right, that's what today is. So thanks, Mom. We're getting there. Must just had to burp off some water. That was really weird. Sometimes it does that. Most of the time it doesn't, but sometimes it does. Okay, so I got my Hallmark characters. I have one more coming. It'll be here either tomorrow or Thursday. So then I'll have the entire talk back and forth set for the tree, and when that figure comes in, I'll do a video on it. It's wild, man. It went from just Kirk talking to himself to a bunch of actors, and it's an entire thing, and the ship even changes how it interacts with stuff, and it's just like, why is it Hallmark can do this right? It is weird. It's weird, and it's wild. It doesn't make much sense. Because you'd think you'd want quality the entire time. All right. Let's get everything the way it should be. Soaked and wet and wild. I realize I'm on an elevated platform, and one wrong step could make it all come off, so thank you for your gasps of confidence. I'm doing this rather than stirring this time because I don't want to disturb too much of it after the water's been put in, just for funsies. All right, so now I didn't reset that. That doesn't make much difference because it was only like 40. So I'm up to, Yeah, that's enough coffee. Why not? That's enough coffee. That's quite a bit of grams, but then again, that's quite a bit of carafe. And, hot. Just got those things on the outside that bothers me. Very hot, 200 degrees hot, 200 degrees Fahrenheit hot. Been watching this show on YouTube, Linus Tech Tips, and it's my understanding that he's a little problematic with regards to getting paid maybe for some reviews or some things or blah, 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 blah. I don't care. He's fine. The whole channel is interesting. Watching him go and water cool things and do silly stuff like that, like water cool PCs and then build water coolers out of the different things or build PCs or have PCs sent to them. They must make so much money. But they're from Canada. So when they broadcast temperatures, well, this has gotten up to 54 degrees. And I'm like, oh, that's good. And then it's Celsius. And it's like, oh, that's probably not good. So, yeah, a lot of talk about thermal throttling, which is not as fun as it sounds, apparently. I didn't start my timer. Okay, so we'll go for about 5 minutes here, since I've already talked probably for about 2. And we've got, bouncing to another topic, because that's what I do. We've got snow outside. It was really, it was almost like you couldn't see what was in front of you yesterday driving around. He went to get snow tire. He came to me the night before and said, I should probably get my snow tires on. It's going to snow tomorrow. And I'm like, oh. And he's got those tires that are made for not only summer, but for the electric car, because the electric car is a little heavier and the torque is a lot more. So the tires are a little bit more special in some ways. The more torque you put into a tire, the more it spins and the more it pushes against the ground, which leads to more wear on the tire. So I think that there's like specialty compounds in there in the tire or whatnot. But the winter ones will handle a temperature much lower. If you take those summer tires out in a sub 35 degree weather, they don't get as pliable and they don't get as grippy on the road. The winter tires that he has will grip in lower temperatures, and you feel a little bit more secure. I mean, if it's on ice, it doesn't matter what kind of tire you have. The ice is going to take you if you're not careful. And even if you are careful, the ice might take you. It doesn't really matter. It's got a lot to do, with inertia and in speed and braking and that kind of thing. So it sometimes it doesn't matter how well you do. If you get caught in an ice, it's going to take you sideways. So it's not 100% your fault if something happens in ice to yourself. If it happens to yourself, it's maybe it was completely unavoidable. But I've had mine on since before Thanksgiving, because I didn't know, because I think a couple of Thanksgivings ago it got really snowy. I mean, every time we'd gone up to Cleveland to be with his family, it was snowing or ice was coming down, or it was, so having those things on, as early as possible, it's helpful. Yeah, and I'm talking about tires again. Isn't that weird? But we went over to the tire place and had his changed over his summer tires to the winter tires just in time too. It was, the visibility was not great yesterday. We had no problem getting around. It was, I don't know, I think it was about 32 degrees when we were taking the car over to get the tires replaced. So that's probably as cold as you would want it to be with those kind of tires. So, but he got that taken care of, and he's all set and ready to go, and went to work this morning, and hopefully everything went fine. I'm sure it did. The discount tire place, we've progressively had more and more and more kind of weird little issues with them throughout the years. I've discussed this before. They put my tires on backwards because I have a staggered wheel set on my car. The rear wheels are bigger than the front. And the last time I had my, not this past time, but the year before, when I bought the wheels and tires from the tire discounter, they put the driver's side wheels on backwards. So the larger wheel was in the front and the smaller wheel was on the back. And I didn't know that until I got far enough down the road to where the tire pressure monitor was calculating how much tire pressure was in, and the front one was higher than the back one. So I took it back and they fixed it, and there was no problem. Yesterday, we got the message saying that the vehicle was done, so we drove down and took care of everything, and he got in the car and he started to drive away, and then he realized they didn't put the summer tires in the back of the car. They hadn't even wrapped them up. Because when it's just tires, they kind of put a wrapping over them so they'll go in the back of the car and it won't be too messy. With mine, they didn't do that because it was a full wheel and tire, and that's kind of heavy, and I don't mind that because I brought them home and washed them anyway. But they forgot to put his tires in the back of the car. And I watched him back up and come back around, and I'm like, well, one of two things has happened. One, the tire pressure is low, because they've done that before too, where they've accidentally not put tire pressure on correctly. Or they didn't put the tires in the back, and I thought to myself, that second one, I don't know. So they were fiddling with stuff for a good minute, and I got out of the car and walked up, and I'm like, is everything okay? And he said they didn't put the tires in the back. And I'm like, oh, dear God. I mean, luckily he wasn't driving like a pickup, because he might not have noticed that. But since it was in the back of his sedan, and the seats were down, so it's a little bit noisier when the seats are down. Even in an electric car, it's a little bit noisier back there. I'll let this go for another 2 minutes, and then I'll start scooping stuff out. Look at all the nice little foam that's on top here. Isn't that nice? I broke that crust. Everything sunk to the bottom. That should sink to the bottom. And now we've got this beautiful, delicious smelling foam. It is not delicious smelling foam. It's delicious smelling coffee. The foam is just there, and we'll scrape that out as much as we can here in a couple minutes. But yeah, it's wild, and it's just small little things, that have happened over the past couple of years. It's like one thing, and it's not that big a deal because everything's been noticed and been corrected, and they haven't fussed or fought about it or said it wasn't our fault. It's hard to say we didn't put the tires into the back of your car. That's not our fault is a thing. That's not how that works. So we got milk last night. While this thing is still brewing, I'm gonna halfway fill this up. I'm not gonna fill it up all the way because we're gonna use it as a frother. I'm gonna, we'll do about that much. We're gonna introduce air into the milk after we get to the point after we've poured everything off. We're gonna do that. This tiny little thing, isn't that cute? Should stay cool in there for a little while. Just as this has stayed hot in this thing for a while. Okay, let's kind of scoop some stuff off the top here. And it's just really funny, it's not like you get mad about it or anything like that. When they accidentally switched my tires the wrong way around, I was able to figure it out and come back and tell them what the problem was. And again, they just went right in there and they fixed it. And, it's good. You don't want that stuff to go wrong, but for crying out loud, there's no reason to get angry about it. They're going to be fixing it. I don't know why they wouldn't. I think it's because this stuff is a little bigger. I'm going to get more chunky stuff on the top here, but we'll get as much of them as we can. All the other stuff has fallen to the bottom. This is just the stuff that is being stubborn. It's just really wild how just just small little things like that, and you wonder how often that happens, and you fear for the poor people that are back there in the back, because it's like, you know, it's an assembly line back there. I mean, you know, it's not really an assembly line. It just feels like, you know, they're not given a lot of time to do the work that they need to do, and then they are, you know, forced to move on to the next car as quickly as possible. So it's like, that seems pretty good. It just doesn't. It just seems like there's a lot of stress with that job, and it just doesn't come off as a very nice. I mean, they do a good job. They do what they're supposed to do. It's just that sometimes, you know, avoidable things aren't avoided. So let us pour. That's lovely. What a lovely thing. Oh, yep. That is exactly what I need today. And turn your eyes if you're squeamish. You could heat this up, I guess, but to be honest, I think I'd rather just have it cold this way, and then when you put it in the coffee, it cools down the coffee quite a bit. Let's see what we've got here. Look at that. Look what it's done. Isn't that amazing? Like, tripled in volume. Let's see what we got here. Pull this up and out. Smooth. Look at that. Creamy. Wow. I mean, I'm not going to do any latte art with it, obviously. I don't know. It might be George Washington. Or Martha Washington. Or Martha Stewart. Or John Stewart. Or John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. That's really nice. Let me undirty this. Let me undirty this and get the coffee grounds out of it. We'll give ourselves a nice little stir here. Just makes it a lovely color. There we go. A little bit of a stir, because it's a little cold on the top. Oh, silky and creamy, and it's just so much fun. And that's all you need to do to froth milk up. I mean, you can even heat it up and then pour it in here and then give it a good froth. I mean, it won't be steamed milk, but frothed milk I think is really nice. I appreciate this. This is happiness. On a 47th birthday, 47 years. Whew. I didn't think I'd be here. I mean, not like here on Earth, just like, you know, here doing this at 47. I didn't know what I would be doing. Maybe either assistant production director or production director for a radio station. Probably when I was coming out of college and starting my career, that's probably where I thought I would be, or I'd hoped I would be, as being a assistant production director or a production director for a radio station somewhere, and creating and creating and creating and not stopping creating until I fell asleep for the last time in my chair, you know, at work, and then someone would find me, and then it's not my problem because I'm not there. So, oh, it's just so nice. It's such a great cup of coffee. I love this stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. The cats are very happy to see you. They were waving bye-bye. He's done with his sushi for the day. Like I said, I'll probably have one of these out. We won't have all three of them out there. They're unsynchronized waving and then synchronized waving and then unsynchronized waving again is really distracting. So thank you, and we will talk to you tomorrow. It's going to be Wednesday, and I hope you have a great day today. Bye.
Security authorization accepted.